Why do some people rise above chaos, while others seem to be swallowed by it? Throughout history, humanity has faced uncertainty, hardship, and relentless challenges. Yet, some individuals not only survive, but thrive, turning obstacles into stepping stones for growth and achievement. What separates these people from the rest? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most revolutionary and provocative philosophers of all time, explored this question deeply. He believed that life is inherently full of struggle, unpredictability, and suffering, and that attempting to avoid it is both futile and limiting. Instead, he argued, the key to true strength, freedom, and fulfillment lies in embracing challenges and using them as tools to shape one's character. Nietzsche saw hardship not as punishment, but as the very forge in which human potential is molded. Our failures, our pains, and even our fears are not weaknesses. They are opportunities to understand ourselves, sharpen our instincts, and cultivate resilience. He believed that most people live passively, conforming to societal expectations, avoiding discomfort, and seeking comfort above growth. But those who confront reality, who accept struggle as necessary, and who actively seek to overcome their limitations, become architects of their own destiny. In today's world, filled with uncertainty, rapid change, and constant distractions, Nietzsche's insights are more relevant than ever. By understanding his philosophy, we can begin to see challenges not as threats, but as the essential fuel for building strength, purpose, and a life of meaning. The question isn't whether life will challenge you, it will. The question is, will you rise, or will you be crushed? Life is not meant to be easy, and Nietzsche's philosophy emphasizes that struggle is not an obstacle, but a necessary condition for growth. Every challenge, setback, or painful experience carries within it the potential to strengthen character, sharpen judgment, and deepen understanding. Nietzsche believed that avoiding hardship leads to stagnation and mediocrity, while confronting it head-on allows individuals to develop resilience and wisdom that cannot be gained otherwise. Struggle forces us to question our limits, to identify our weaknesses, and to cultivate new strategies for overcoming obstacles. This is not just theoretical, it applies to every aspect of modern life. Entrepreneurs face repeated failures before building successful businesses. Athletes push their bodies to the edge of pain to achieve peak performance. Even in personal relationships, conflicts and challenges can teach empathy, patience, and negotiation skills. What Nietzsche emphasizes is the mindset with which we approach struggle. Seeing difficulties as punishments, or as signs of failure, is limiting. Viewing them as opportunities, however, changes everything. When you encounter failure, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this challenge to become stronger? By reframing struggle as a tool for growth, you transform life's natural adversity into a source of power. This approach also builds confidence. When you repeatedly overcome obstacles, you gain proof that you are capable of handling life's uncertainties. Over time, struggle becomes not a source of fear, but a proving ground for your ability to thrive. Nietzsche's insistence on embracing hardship is a radical departure from the idea of seeking comfort and avoiding pain. By internalizing this lesson, you prepare yourself to meet life on its terms, not with avoidance, but with courage and strategy, building a foundation for success that is both resilient and self-sustaining. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is central to understanding human motivation and achievement. Unlike basic survival instincts, the will to power describes the deep, inherent drive in humans to grow, dominate challenges, and assert influence over their environment and themselves. It is the force that pushes individuals to rise above mediocrity, to seek mastery, and to transform adversity into achievement. In modern life, this concept can be applied to personal development, career advancement, and creative pursuits. Those who cultivate the will to power do not passively accept circumstances. They actively shape their lives. This requires awareness of one's goals, strengths, and limitations, as well as the courage to take decisive action in the face of uncertainty. Nietzsche argued that many people suppress this drive due to fear, social conformity, or a desire for comfort. They settle for safe routines, avoiding the risks that come with ambition. In contrast, Individuals who embrace their will to power harness their internal drive to innovate, compete, and excel. This is evident in entrepreneurs who launch ventures despite repeated failures, in artists who create despite criticism, and in leaders who take bold decisions against popular opinion. The will to power is not about domination over others in a literal sense. It is about mastery over oneself, the circumstances, and the challenges life presents. Practically, this means setting high standards, being willing to take calculated risks, and continuously striving for improvement. It also requires resilience, as failure and setbacks are inevitable. Those who exercise their will to power view these setbacks as temporary obstacles, opportunities to refine strategy and strengthen resolve. By embracing this internal drive, individuals not only achieve success, but also gain a deeper understanding of themselves, their potential, and the impact they can have on the world around them. Nietzsche's philosophy teaches that life is a canvas, and the will to power is the brush that allows us to paint it intentionally, boldly, and meaningfully. One of Nietzsche's most profound teachings is the call to become who you are. This is not simply about self. It is about actively cultivating authenticity in a world that constantly pressures individuals to conform. Society, culture, and even close relationships often impose expectations, norms, and roles that may conflict with our true selves. Nietzsche argued that true fulfillment and power come from breaking free of these imposed identities and embracing the unique qualities, talents, and perspectives that define us. In modern life, this lesson has particular relevance. Social media, peer pressure, and societal comparison create a false image of what we should be, tempting many to prioritize external validation over internal truth. By contrast, those who embrace their authentic self act from a place of confidence, conviction, and clarity. Becoming who you are requires deep introspection. It involves understanding your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and values and aligning your actions accordingly. It also requires courage, as living authentically may provoke criticism, envy, or rejection. Nietzsche believed that individuals who dare to be different, who reject the comfort of conformity, experience personal growth, develop resilience, and gain genuine respect from others. This is a lifelong process. Every choice and action can either reinforce authenticity or reinforce conformity. Practical steps include reflecting regularly on your personal values, resisting the urge to mimic others' lives, and making choices that honor your unique identity. Importantly, becoming who you are also means embracing your flaws and limitations, not just your talents. By acknowledging and integrating every aspect of yourself, you create a strong, coherent self capable of navigating life's uncertainties. Ultimately, Nietzsche's lesson teaches that authenticity is not merely an ideal. It is a powerful strategy for living a meaningful, empowered, and self-directed life. Those who embrace it discover that their impact, relationships, and achievements are far richer when aligned with their true self. Nietzsche introduced the concept of the overman, or Übermensch, as the individual who transcends conventional human limitations and creates their own values and meaning. The overman is not bound by societal norms or passive morality, but actively shapes their destiny through conscious choices, creativity, and courage. This idea challenges ordinary notions of success and happiness by suggesting that true greatness comes from self-overcoming and self-creation. In practical terms, the overman represents anyone who refuses to live passively, instead striving to maximize their potential, embrace responsibility, and innovate in their life and work. Modern examples can be seen in leaders, innovators, and visionaries who challenge norms, take calculated risks, and drive transformative change. The journey to becoming an overman is not easy. It requires relentless the ability to confront fears and weaknesses, and the willingness to endure discomfort for long-term growth. Nietzsche's overman embodies independence of thought, emotional resilience, and a refusal to let external circumstances dictate inner values or actions. Achieving this state involves rejecting complacency, questioning inherited beliefs, and embracing personal evolution. It also means transforming suffering and failure into tools for self-improvement rather than sources of despair. By aspiring to the overman, individuals cultivate a mindset of responsibility and agency. Recognizing that the power to shape life lies within themselves, this lesson is deeply empowering because it shifts focus from external validation to self-mastery and intentional living. It encourages people to view challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to develop strength, insight, and originality. Nietzsche's vision of the overman is ultimately a roadmap for transcending mediocrity, creating meaning, and living a life defined not by circumstance but by conscious choice, resilience, and extraordinary personal growth. Nietzsche's concept of amor fati, which translates to love your fate, is one of the most transformative lessons in his philosophy. It encourages individuals to embrace life in its entirety, including the hardships, mistakes, and unforeseen circumstances that are often viewed negatively. Rather than resisting or regretting the difficulties that life inevitably presents, Nietzsche argues that true empowerment comes from accepting them fully and seeing them as essential components of personal growth. In practice, this means no longer wishing that life had been easier, that certain events had not happened, or that outcomes had been different. Every challenge, disappointment, or failure is reframed as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and evolve. By cultivating amor fati, individuals shift from a mindset of victimhood to one of agency, understanding that they are active participants in shaping the meaning of their experiences. Modern application of this idea is profound. Consider someone who loses a job or faces a major setback. Instead of wallowing in regret, they can view this event as a catalyst for new opportunities, skill development, or life redirection. Entrepreneurs often practice amor fati intuitively. They embrace failed ventures not as losses, but as lessons that refine strategy and build resilience. The practice also fosters emotional stability and long-term satisfaction. When one stops fighting the inevitable and accepts reality with equanimity, stress and anxiety diminish. Importantly, amor fati does not mean passive acceptance. It is an active, joyful affirmation of life exactly as it unfolds. It transforms obstacles into meaningful experiences and instills a sense of gratitude, even for challenges. By internalizing this mindset, individuals not only survive adversity but use it as fuel for creativity, purpose, and achievement. Nietzsche's amor fati teaches that loving your fate is not resignation, it is the ultimate expression of courage, self-mastery, and profound engagement with life itself.